Okay. So what we can do is we will take a sample data set from Kaggle, which is a groceries data set, and our objective is to identify a purchase pattern of customers and how association technique can be used to solve this, right? And we are taking an example of market basket analysis and have considered this groceries data set that is available in Kaggle and in other sources. So first what we'll do here is we'll have to, as a first step, we'll import all required libraries. One, of course, you can take some of the sample libraries such as pandas and numpy for your certain computation. Then there is something called as ML extend that we need to consider, and then we are using one hot here. That's the reason we are importing, because to convert some of the data item sets into a certain format of things that we'll see. And then of course we are importing a priori and association rules, because we want to use a priori algorithm and then try to see what are the rules, how we can leverage association rules to display and compute some of the measures that we were talking about. And then of course some of the data visualization libraries in case some of the visualization that we would like to do, Plotly and Matplotlib. So we are reading the data and organizing it. Once we read the data from the pandas data frame, then we start looking into the top 6 or 7 rows, and this is what the data looks like. Then what we also pre-process and perform some of the pre-processing steps is that we stack the data frame to get all the unique item sets. So what we are interested in to get a value of some of these item sets. For example, your citrus fruit, your margarine, your tropical fruit, and so on. So that's the reason we are using this data frame to be stacked and get all the item sets there. Then what we are also doing, we are encoding the transactions into one-hot encoding format. We have seen that you have to convert your point of sale transaction into a binary matrix format, so that for each of the items that you have, for example, here we are using one-hot encoding conversion of this transformations to in this format, where you have the items like baby food, bags, baking powder, and all of these, and then these are the transaction IDs for us. For each transaction ID, is there a value that exists? If it exists, then it's a 1, else it's 0. So that's how we wanted to portray it into a binary matrix format. Once we do that, we see a quick step of this gives us almost 5,000 rows and 168 such columns or item sets. Then we want to go ahead and understand what are the frequent item sets. So for frequent item sets, we are using a priori algorithm. And there, as a parameter, you have to give the data frame that we have created, defined as part of it earlier. Then we will put some minimum support, which is here we are saying 0.02, and then of course use column names equal to true. So which gives us frequent item sets. If we start looking into in this data frame by applying a priori, what it does is it gives a support and then item sets against it, right? So then of course we can sort the values based on the higher support values for each and every item sets, and that can be presented accordingly. Then we move on and start looking into the item sets in the top 10 in some specific order, ascending and descending. We can do that. Then the next step is what we can do is we will get onto the generation of association rules from these frequent item sets that we have created from a priori algorithm. Now the rules from the way it works is we can use something called as association rules, which we have invoked from ML extend, and then we will pass on the item sets, which is the frequent item sets here, and then we can use the metric as whether it is lift or support. Based on that, we can view what is the representation of the entire rules that can be represented. As you would see here, we have used the metric as lift. We have also mentioned minimum threshold of 1. Similarly, we can use any other metric parameter and then give the minimum threshold accordingly. So if you see here the rules, and if we start looking into it, it gives a very solid information about antecedent, consequent, what is your antecedent support, then your consequent support, then the overall support, and then of course your confidence, lift, leverage, and conviction. A lot of these measures parameter. And we can play with this, we can create the rules to use some different metric and kind of filter the data based on a minimum threshold that we define as part of this. right? And then, the result above gives an indication about the association analysis that we have just done, for which will indicate also which items are purchased with which other items frequently. So how do we interpret this, right? When we look into this, we can say, bottled beer, when you are buying this, then you are also going and buying whole milk. When you are going to buy whole milk, then you're also buying something like bottled beer, and so on. So this is what if milk, then this bottled beer. So if antecedent, then the consequent, right? That's how it's been clearly captured in the output that we have seen. What you can also do is, if you want to limit or restrict some of these things, you can use some of the scatter plots, support versus confidence chart, that will give you some of these values to see at a particular support level. If you want to filter with a threshold of a confidence factor, then we would be able to see how many items are captured there, right? So same way, the support versus lift chart and lift versus confidence chart can also be represented. So what we have seen as part of this is a simple representation using a priori rules, using the association rules, the a priori algorithm, to be able to see how we can understand the frequent item set. We can generate which one to be sold after a particular antecedent and consequent, that combination. And we can also restrict from a huge set of data, because we have seen that if the frequent item set would be around 5 or 6, then you have 64 such combinations. Then getting onto a frequent item set, it becomes very difficult when it grows to some 10,000 items and so on, right? So a priori does a very good job of containing this and giving us a control of which items are sold together, so that we can understand the pattern of the purchase accordingly, right? All right, so then we will quickly move on to the summary of what we presented so far. And this is where we could summarize that, yes, we have seen the association rules, the affinity analysis and market basket analysis, these things, they produce rules on association between items from a given database of transactions. We have seen a point of sale transaction, then we have gone on to create a binary matrix format, then we have applied some measures to see and understand what is support, what is lift, what is confidence, what is leverage, right? And then we have also used a more popular algorithm of, for example, the a priori algorithm, to be able to solve this and handle this larger item sets in an effective manner. Because we cannot do that if the number of frequent item set goes beyond even 8 or 9, because it creates a lot of combinations that we have seen. So to reduce the computation, we can use these algorithms, and there are a lot of other algorithms also, but this is popularly used algorithm that we have seen here to be able to give us an indication to see how to identify which products are sold against each other, the association rules amongst it, and how that can be used to potentially predict the next sale for a product or customers, right? Thank you.